started Flavors of Bogota 4 years ago when I moved to Colombia, and talks about food and restaurants and chefs and food events in general around Colombia. A couple of years ago I really started getting interested in the subject of coffee. But what I realized is that there was kind of like a hidden world of coffee here in the city as well as really in the country, and that's the specialty coffees. When we talk about specialty coffee, that's a little harder to find. There's only a few coffee houses that are providing true specialty coffees. So these are coffees that are higher quality bean because of the flavor profiles and the processes that they've been through. And also the coffee is prepared in special ways. So there's only a few of those coffee shops around the city. There's a lot of factors that go into producing good coffee. And one of the conditions that's important is where it's grown. And so that's something that's really special about Colombia. It's a mountainous country, and so the Arabica beans, which are the higher quality beans, they like mountainous climates. We also have soil conditions. A lot of the soil where coffee is grown in Colombia is volcanic soil, so it has good organic content, which produces a better coffee. Coffee here is hand-picked, and so that means that only the ripest cherries are picked. And so that's something that helps in that whole process of producing a specialty coffee. 95% of coffee farms in Colombia are small. We're talking about maybe less than 5 hectares, and they're owned by families. So coffee in Colombia is about individual families, and that's something that becomes very important in these coffee growing regions. It's one of the biggest sources of employment in many rural areas in Colombia. And so it's not about big business, you know, it's about these little tiny families that have their own little family business. It's very, very heartwarming. I started the Flavors of Bogota coffee shop tour because I realized that this world of specialty coffees was very hidden from most people. They didn't understand what, for instance, the coffee growing regions in Colombia were about. They didn't know how to choose a coffee from the different options, because they see these different coffees and they're like, I don't know, is it any different? Is Huila different from Tolima, which are different coffee growing regions? It took me a while to learn all of this. So I thought, well, somebody that's just visiting Bogota, maybe for a few days, they're not going to learn this that fast. So I thought, well, a coffee tour would be a great way to show people about these specialty coffees here, help them to understand a bit about the history of coffee in Colombia, what's going on now, what it means to Colombians, but then also the flavors that they're going to find in their cup. So this is a really unique experience that's about flavors, it's about culture, and it's about the history of a country. The Flavors of Bogota coffee shop tour is an excellent way to get involved in what coffee means to Colombians, what it means to Colombian families. So it's just an excellent way to get to know the culture and the history of Colombia while tasting some excellent coffee.